Today we're going to be checking out the much anticipated Hammond Collection Carnotaurus by Mattel. Before we jump into the review though, I want to thank the Jurassic team over at Mattel for sending over these free samples for me to review and share with you guys. Now without further ado, let's kick things off with a little montage. Alright guys, so here we are, and man, having this thing in hand, this is, I can already tell, the best sculpted Hammond Collection figure ever right here. Like, just look at the face. They nailed the face sculpt on this. It looks like he's straight out of the movie. This thing is just so incredibly cool. You can see these little bumps and folds and scales are just perfectly sculpted, and they have a ton of nice texture. It's going to be a real fun figure to repaint, I can already tell. But just as it is, it looks absolutely beautiful. They've given the Carno the glass eye treatment, similar to the Rex and the Brachiosaurus. So he has these clear plastic yellow eyes, which kind of work, but it really depends on the angle the light hits them, if that makes sense. One thing I'm really happy to see carried over to this guy are these smaller, separately molded teeth. They look nice and realistic and not cartoony like some of the teeth were on the earlier Hammond Collection dinosaurs. So this is definitely a welcomed upgrade. As far as paint goes, the deco is on point. You get dark patterns over a reddish orange body with a light gray airbrushing on the underbelly. It's simple yet effective. Definitely upped their game with the paint apps on this one, and they did an absolutely awesome job. All right, so we'll move on to articulation. Everything on this guy is what we've come to expect from the Hammond Collection line. The mouth can open up really wide, showing off those nice proportionate teeth. The head can look down about this far, and it can look up about that far. When you incorporate the second neck joint in there, then you can really get some nice range on the up and down movement. Where the articulation does fall short for me is in the side-to-side range. While he does have some movement, that hard plastic collar really limits him from getting any sort of dynamic side angle. So you can really only get him to go about that far. Maybe like a torso cut would have helped to kind of bump that range up just a hair, or maybe using a softer rubbery plastic like the collar part on the T-Rex. Maybe that would have helped, but all in all, it's not a deal breaker. He still has some really great range of motion. The rest of the articulation is pretty standard. The arms have a couple of joints, and each leg has 4 points, which allows for some real dynamic crouched or running poses. And then finishing it off with the tail, we get a point at the base and the midsection, and then the standard bendy wire found in most Hammond Collection dinos. So if you're wondering how big this Carnotaurus is, he measures roughly 18 inches long, and he stands around 7 to 8 inches tall, but that really depends on what position you have him in. Here's the Irritator for a size comparison, along with the Dilophosaurus and the T-Rex. And just for fun, we'll bring in the original Fallen Kingdom Carnotaurus, which is still one of my favorite figures from that original line. So my final verdict, this figure is amazing. It hits all of the points for me, and he is right up there with some of those bangers Mattel has released for the Hammond Collection line recently. The Metriacanthosaurus and the Irritator, the Ankylosaurus and the Brachiosaurus have all become some of my favorite Hammond Collection figures, and this Carno has officially joined that list. And I'm really stoked to see this new size class added, the potential for larger dinosaurs on down the line, like maybe a Hammond Collection Stegosaurus would be so cool, or an Allosaurus. But what about you guys? What dinos would you love to see get that HC treatment? Sound off below and let the world know. In the meantime, if you need more Jurassic related content, you know where to find it. Links will be in the description box below. You guys take care, and I'll see you around the compound.